Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm excited to share that I've made it through my third week of Zepbound. If you've been following along, you know I'm committed to sharing everything I experience, no holds barred. So in this video, I'll be covering what changes, challenges, and observations I made during my third week of taking this medication. I mentioned in my previous video that I've decided to stick with the area around the belly button for my shots. Just remember that no matter where you prefer to do your injections, you need to rotate around that area and not give it in the exact same spot every time. So why is that, I wondered? Well, I looked it up, of course. Giving yourself an injection in the exact same spot can lead to complications like lipohypertrophy. Lipohypertrophy. Say that 3 times really fast. These are lumps or indentations that will occur under the skin if you give yourself a shot in the exact same place over and over again. These can interfere with medication absorption, and they also can cause discomfort, so don't do it. Like week 2, there was no pain during the injection. I didn't experience any discomfort or swelling afterwards, so that's a win. I did have like a tiny little bruise, but nothing notable. One thing I did notice in week 3 was that I was getting headaches a bit more often, usually later in the day. I think it might be linked to hydration, so I'm going to keep a closer eye on my water intake moving forward to see if that helps. Something exciting? Well, my clothes are feeling a bit looser. It's a nice little reminder that things are moving in the right direction, and even though the numbers on the scale may not move very quickly, it's showing that it is in fact working for me. Day 2, which was Tuesday, was pretty smooth. Energy levels were still good, and I felt mentally clear. No major changes or adverse effects at that point. On Wednesday, though, I did feel a bit of nausea. I suspect that it's also linked to not hydrating enough, so I'll keep tracking that. I had a really busy day at work, and I know I was forgetting to hit the water, so I'm pretty sure dehydration was the culprit. Somebody at work told me they have an app that reminds them to drink water, so I might need to go that route if I can't remember to do it on my own. If you've experienced nausea on Zepbound and have any tips for getting past that, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Day 5 was a bit rough. I woke up at 3 a.m. and I couldn't get back to sleep, which was really unusual for me. I also had some nausea again. This time it was after lunch, and I think it might have been from eating too soon after I did my collagen broth. That has protein in it. So I likely was more full than I realized from drinking that, and I should have allowed for a longer cushion in between the broth and the lunch. That evening, I had terrible acid reflux, and I am blaming that on eating way too late. Since digestive issues seem pretty common with Zepbound, I wanted to dive into that a bit further. What I learned is that, and we all pretty much know this, Zepbound slows down digestion and keeps food in your stomach for a longer period. This makes you feel full for a longer period of time, but if you eat past that fullness, this is when nausea or even vomiting can occur. The trick is to eat smaller, more frequent meals rather than large ones, and always listen to your body. Once you feel full, it's time to quit. Put the fork down and walk away. I cannot eat the same portions that I did pre-Zepbound, and you likely will or are experiencing the same. I don't even want the same portions, but by habit, I'll catch myself putting the same pre-Zep amounts on my plate and then find out that I can't even come close to finishing what's there. Another tip for keeping nausea at bay is to avoid foods that might worsen it, like spicy or high-fat foods. And whatever you do, do not make my mistake. Wait at least 2 to 3 hours after eating before you lay down for the evening or an afternoon nap. By the end of the week, I was feeling pretty good. No hunger pains, plenty of energy, mental clarity. However, I did experience a couple of nights where I woke up just way too early and I couldn't get back to sleep. I'm talking like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. I didn't have any caffeine past noon on the previous days, so I know it wasn't anything like that. It's got to be the Zepbound. I just have to find my way through it. At the end of week 3, I ended up losing 1.5 pounds. My blood pressure was 119 over 83, so the diastolic is a little higher than it should be, but it's still much better than pre-Zepbound levels for me, and I'm feeling very positive about these numbers. With weight loss, they typically recommend you shoot for between 1 and 2 pounds per week. I have been right in there, right in between those numbers. So I feel like I'm doing this the right way. I've said it a million times and I will say it a million times more. I do not want to drop weight quickly. I don't think it's healthy. And I also don't think that it helps you to stick with it and be successful in the long term. So next up, I'll be moving to the 5 milligram dose after week 4. I really want to take it slow and steady, so I asked my doctor if I could stay on that 5 milligrams for 3 months to see how my body responds. It kind of surprised him. I know that it's fairly typical for people to bump up the dose every month, but I've already been losing weight on the 2.5 milligrams, so I'm hopeful that the 5 milligram will keep that same momentum going. It might even increase it a bit more. If I stall out, we'll look at increasing the dose to 7.5, but I really think that I can do this on the 5 milligrams for 3 months. So fingers crossed this works out. I will be sharing a video with you soon about how to navigate those dose increases and what to expect with insurance if you are going through your insurance for Zepbound. So make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss that. I'm also amazed by the effects Zepbound has had on both my body and mind. I never used an appetite suppressant before in my life. While I have dieted, I've tried intermittent fasting, exercising, calorie restriction, I never used an appetite suppressant. So this has been an entirely new experience for me. Before starting Zepbound, I would eat a balanced meal and still feel hungry just about an hour or 2 later. Now I don't have that hunger at all, and I actually need to remind myself to eat. This is why it's so important to make those food choices count. Since I'm eating less, I'm being extra mindful about getting enough protein to protect muscle mass and fiber and to keep my digestive system running smoothly. I also want to clarify that Zepbound has not affected my sense of taste or made me dislike any foods. I still love my favorite things like chocolate and pasta, but I don't crave them the same way. I can walk past a candy bowl without even a second thought, but pre-Zep Steph would have grabbed a handful without giving it a thought. As for my mind, Zepbound has really helped improve my mental clarity, focus, and even quieted my ADHD. It's still there. It's always going to be there, but it's a little less noisy on Zepbound. Not sure why, but I'll take it. And those food cravings that I used to struggle with are gone. But on the flip side, it does make deciding what to make for dinner a little trickier since I don't have the same hunger-driven urgency anymore, which always helped me figure out what I was going to make for dinner that night. So that's a wrap on week 3. I'll keep tracking my progress and update you all at the end of week 4. I'm also going to take measurements at the 1 month mark to see if I've lost any inches. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can follow my journey. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.